federal government asks all parents against paying of third term fees to schools clarify issues on resumption. As regards the relaxation of the lockdown against COVID-19 pandemic, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has made clarifications on school resumption. This was revealed in a statement issued by the Federal Capital Territory Education Secretary on Tuesday, warning private schools and the owners against opening of schools or planning to commence the third term online. The Acting Secretary for Education, Umaru Marafa, reiterated that the closure of school and resumption was in effect till further notice, and added that no academic activities in all schools shall commence until a notice to reopen school is approved and convened by secretariats. Also, Marafa advised all schools to maintain the status quo and keep their schools closed until further notice. He exclaimed that any violation to this will have to face justice. It has been drawn to our notice that some private schools are already demanding from parents the school fees for third term from parents, and the term isn't been effective yet due to the purported resumption. The schools claimed that the section will commence online. The implication of this is when the schools will be reopened. Adequate notice night that the fact that the second term was inclusive will be factored into the academic calendar, which will dovetail into third term accordingly. Any action taken otherwise is likely to negatively distort the academic calendar of the schools involved. The FCTA Education Secretariat has, however, concluded plans to introduce relearning platforms to include lessons on radio and television channels to keep the students constructively engaged while other lockdown lasts. This is for the good of the children and the owner of schools, because they are trying to prevent them from being infected by this COVID-19 virus. Viewers, I'm very much sure that this is for the good of everyone in this country. I'm not blaming the president or anybody or the government or other governors that told or that decides to extend this lockdown. No, what I'm trying to say or trying to support or tell Nigerians, schools, companies, hotels, banks that were closed because of this COVID-19 spread, what I want to tell them is they should be patient. The first time they announced the lockdown, 2 weeks lockdown, we were patient enough because they promised us that food, money will be distributed, but nothing was distributed. Some said they received, some did not receive. They were so biased. And even those that said they received, they did not receive the full payment, and they did not receive the full food that they were promised to get. But that aside, I'm very much in support of this lockdown. And again, I'm not in support of what the government has done. Why I said I'm in support of this lockdown is because this lockdown has prevented a lot of children, adults, a lot of people, leaders, owner of schools, managers, head of companies not to be infected by this virus that is rampaging the whole world called COVID-19 pandemic. The reason why the federal government has announced the lockdown for the first 2 weeks, second 2 weeks, and now 1 week is for our purpose. It's for our own good. It's for the good of Nigerians. Because if they refuse or they did not announce this lockdown, I'm very much sure that a lot of people, in short, the whole country would have been contacted with this COVID-19 pandemic. Because a lot of people in this world, in short, Nigerians are so stubborn to the extent that when they tell them anything, when the government decides on anything, they lay down a law. They will definitely break the law. That is what Nigerians are known for. So with this lockdown, it's for the good of the country. Because this deadly disease has been running around like a piece, like the devil. They say the devil is a roaring lion, running out, in and out, seeking for who to devour. That is how this COVID-19 is. So that is why the government has said that we should all stay at home. And even if you're going out, that we should take precautions. We should take measures. We should make sure that this nose face cover is always with us. We always use this face cover and wash our hands regularly when we are at home with soap and clean water. But when we are going out, we should always put on this face mask and gloves to prevent this virus from coming to us. Because we don't know where we go, where we will be now. We don't know who will have this virus. They don't write this virus on someone's head. Some will be pretending to be covering their face, their nose, their mouths, but they have this virus. They look quite all right, they have this virus. A lot of people have been tested of coronavirus, but they will still come out and say in their hearts that everybody, since I have it, you will also have it. A lot of people are wicked. Some people are wicked. That is why this lockdown is being extended till another 1 week. The federal government said whosoever that has this virus, that dictates or have the symptoms of this virus, should quickly run to the hospital to make a checkup, to have a checkup done. And after the checkup and he finds out that he or she has this virus, the person should quickly isolate himself and start treatment immediately. Should isolate himself from his family members and his or her loved ones. So, as I've said earlier on, that the government are doing this for our sake. But why I said I'm not in support of this lockdown again is because of the things that they promised to give those that, just all Nigerians that were asked to stay at home. But nothing was done. According to what the federal government said, it said he has released this money for these people. That this money has been released for the committees that are supposed to share this money. That they have released the money for them, to them. But to them, they will share the money. To them, they are relaxed that they trust those people a lot. So they relax and say they will share the money to them. At least Nigerians will benefit. But nothing happened. Nobody was giving any money. People that were giving this money to, they collected the money back from them. Imagine that. So if really they want this extension to proceed or to be extended, this lockdown to be extended, then they should provide a means of living, provide food and money to survive with. If all this can be provided or can be done, I see no reason why Nigerians will not abide by the law. I see no reason why they will not stay at home and prevent themselves. If something like this happens, like a a family is given one bag of rice at least, then 20,000 or 30,000 naira, that this lockdown will be extended, they would definitely be happy and praise that this lockdown continues. But with no money, with nothing, they will not be able to stay at home, because hunger has dealt seriously with these people. So there's no way they can stay at home. Police are arresting them there and there. These people will definitely go out to look for daily means to feed their family with. Why would police be stopping them when the government refuses to provide something and something that will sustain them with? So viewers, what is your take on this? Those are my comments and what I think the government, why I say that the government shouldn't have extended this lockdown, and why I said that they should extend it. So drop your own comment below the comment box. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive updates whenever I publish new videos. And don't forget, share and like this news as well. Thank you.